Lithia Bay has some of the worst transit I've ever seen, and I'm the one who designed it. So today we're going to throw the entire bus network into the trash and start from scratch. We have exactly one goal. We need to take our current ridership of 64,617 citizens and absolutely surpass it. Let's jump in. Now I want to do something just a bit unconventional because I don't think the game is the best tool for explaining how I want to set everything up. What I think we need is Photoshop, the brush tool, and one of our Carto images. And this is going to be so much easier than trying to explain what I mean in game. Now I want to start in the main city, and the main city is very, very messy right now. I'm almost just a bit ashamed of it, but this is going to be our fresh reset. So I'm just going to try and take this step by step until everything makes sense. Let's start with Route 1, and with the way that transit is currently set up within the main city, it's a lot of circulator routes, but not enough point-to-point routes. And in fact, we don't even serve Pine Grove. So this is going to be a great place to start. I already know that I want to use this cul-de-sac as a turnaround point, and then we're going to need another turnaround point somewhere around here. What I'm thinking is that we probably want to make our way as far down as we can get, so we'll make a loop around this road. And the beauty of this is that our high school is right here. Now in a perfect world, we would have a straight connection in. That way we could eliminate any turning. And I've done this like 6 times because I can't get the line to be straight. I'm sure this is going to be a lot more messy very soon. The connection is pretty much perfect. Alright, so that'll be line 1, or route 1. And I probably should have mentioned this, but one of the key reasons why we need to be so specific about our routes is because we really only have 4 bays open. And I'm definitely not going to expand our bus station when we're only a week away from the DLC for city stations. The next big thing that I want to solve is a bus to the university. Technically, this isn't too big of a deal because they could just take the train, but in order to take the train, they would have to be in this area. And the density down here just doesn't justify any stops. The only stop after our main terminal is directly at the university. So instead, what I want to do is provide a route from our bus station, and that's going to follow down this road. And then it's going to make its way up to the university, and I'd love to have dual service here, but I just don't see that happening. So we'll just do a nice clean loop around, and then we'll follow this road all the way down. We'll enter the urban interchange, and then just make that connection, and that right there will be route number 2. And then the next thing I'm worried about is bringing all of these people to the industrial park. So this time again, we're going to leave our bus station, and now there's really only one opportunity to loop around here. So let's do our loop here. And then we just need to make the most straightforward and direct connection. So we'll carry this all the way down this green road. We'll call this route number 3. And we actually have a transfer opportunity right here. So to keep it simple, I'll have this giant circle here, which means transfer. Now Lithia Point down here is our most densest district, but I also don't want to clog traffic up on one of these main roads. So I think what we'll do is we're going to make a stop right here, and we'll have to make this a cul-de-sac or something so that the bus can turn around. And then we're just going to follow all the way down this road. And right here, we'll have another transfer opportunity. And it looks like there's no connection through here anymore. So this is ideally where I want to terminate the line. And we'll call this route number 4. We do have quite a bit of our population living in Pine Grove and Heather Way. And I think what really matters is getting these people that live up here all the way down to our jobs, or at least giving them a transfer opportunity to hop on another bus and go to the bus station. And we do have one through road right here, which should be a good fit for a bus route. And then loop back around. And then down here, we should probably loop around on one of these side streets, but we already have this bus interacting with this road. So instead, let's just loop around down here. Let's call this route number 5. And that's where I was going to call it, but I would like to provide one more route from down here to closer towards our bus station and our conference hall area. And I'm pretty sure that I want to loop around this area. And then here's a transfer opportunity. And another one, and then we'll have another transfer opportunity. We'll loop back around. That is route number 6. Now there's only 2 more routes that we need, and that's from our external connection directly into our bus station. I'm not going to draw it because my drawing skills suck. What I will do instead is add in that little orange, and then clearly mark it as route number 7, which looks like a child made it. And then for route number 8, what we really need is a connection from this bus station into this bus station. So we'll start down here and make that loop, and then we're just going to cross the bridge. And as we approach our bus station, we have to come in from this road. Just like when we leave our bus station, we have to leave from this way. And that right there is Route 8. Before we move on to planning out these areas over here, let's get all of this implemented first. For reference, this is what all the old lines looked like. And also we have 64,000 citizens per month riding our bus, which actually isn't all that bad considering we only have a population of 84,000. Either way, first thing we need to do is delete all of these old lines. I will keep the one that goes to our external connection though. Next thing, I'm going to go through and delete all of these bus stops, and that's just because if I don't, it's going to become extremely confusing really quickly. Now because we already have that beautiful illustration of all of our routes, I'm just going to quickly go in, add in the stops, and then we'll work on the transfer opportunities. Actually, I've already encountered a problem. We need to put a roundabout here, that way our bus can properly turn around. But then the issue becomes, if we place a roundabout, we can't actually add in a bus stop. And it's not exactly impossible. We could just place it in with Move It. I bet you any money this would actually function, and yeah, it would. But I can't imagine a world where we're adding a bus stop on a roundabout. It just doesn't make sense. So in this particular location, we're going to delete the roundabout, and we're also going to delete this building. Honestly, I want to delete a bunch of these buildings. They're just a bit too dense for what this area should have been. But we have this Korean slab type apartment, and honestly, I really like it. I think it's actually a really good fit here. The scale of the building feels much more appropriate. Then we just need to do a little bit of terraforming. We'll add in the connection for the building. We'll snap directly to the middle of this road and connect that directly in. Now in an ideal world, we'd have a parking lot here. So something kind of like that. And then we'd have a frontage road for the parking lot. And this would also connect in. And then the bus could drive down this road, make it stop right here, and then just loop back around to the parking lot. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to work in game, but I'd love to try it out and see if it does. And unfortunately not. Okay, new brilliant idea. First, let's get this all to be the same height because it's going to be much easier to work with. And now, what if we use a one-way perpendicular parking alley? I mean, that's definitely a bit rough looking, but I think I'm fine with it. We'll call this line 1, Lithia Point to Lithia Greens. The price of every single bus ticket is going to be $2 unless we're going to external connections. We're going to keep this set to 4 vehicles for now, and we're going to make it a nice bright red color. For the next route, we're going to be leaving from our bus station, and we're going to be going to the university. Instead of going all the way down to the highway, we're just going to use this road right here. We'll wrap around all of these homes, and then just send it all the way back to our bus station. We're going to call this line Station to University, and we'll make this one blue. The next line is going to go out to our industrial park. We just need to get one bus stop in first, and now we're just going to make our connection from our bus station to this bus stop and back. Actually, we will make an adjustment for this route, and that's because this right turn is crazy sharp. But this should be a pretty easy fix. We just have to move these 2 spots over a bit, and then we're just going to extend the bus road. I'll come back and fix all of this later. In my ideal world, this would have priority. We can't do that yet. So instead, what I'm going to do is remove the lights. I'm going to set this road to be priority, and then this road to be stop. There's also one more change that needs to happen on the way back. We need to turn down this road instead, because this will make it easier for the buses to come back into the station. They'll have a nice right turn. We're going to call this line number 3, Station to Industrial, and we'll make this line pink. We're going to call this line number 4, Pine Grove to Greens. We'll make that a nice light blue color. We'll call this one line number 5, Greens to Heather Way, and we'll make it a nice bright green. We'll call this one line number 6, Pine Grove to the Industrial, and we'll make this somewhat magenta pink-like. And there's only one more left. That's from the station over here all the way down to this station. And then we're just going to head immediately back. And we'll call this one line number 7, Point Station to Sand Station. And I'm going to try and follow my diagram here, so this will be a deep blue. And now let's quickly work on all the transfer opportunities, and then I'll add in all the bus stops pretty quickly after that. We have a transfer opportunity right here. So we're going to place this stop right there. And then we're going to have one more stop for this red line. We do have one more opportunity though, and that's right here. And that would be from our Station to Industrial line. And I'm pretty sure that's all of the transfer opportunities for this area. Now this will be a little bit redundant because we already have all of these transfer opportunities down here. We're pretty much going to have the exact same two, but down here this time. So the red line will go into here, and the magenta line will go into this stop. We have another opportunity right here, and I made these two colors way too similar. This is line number 6, Pine Grove to Industrial, and this is line number 3, Station to Industrial. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't really say there's a safe transfer opportunity here, and that's mostly just because there isn't sidewalks. Wait, what is this looping? Oh, we were making an unnecessary loop? We're gonna have one stop right here. I don't really feel like dumping pedestrians onto this road. So this won't be the absolute best transfer, but it's better than nothing. For the next transfer opportunity, we have Pine Grove to Industrial and Greens to Heather Way. We need to add in both stops on these side streets, and that's just mostly because the people who live in these houses, they most likely do not want a bus stop in front of their house. So they're gonna fight pretty hard to not have one, and they're also probably gonna fight pretty hard when they realize that I might bulldoze their house because there isn't enough room. Wait, I think we have good news. We'll just push this all to the side, and then we'll delete a few trees. And yeah, I'd say that's pretty reasonable. We'll just delete that fence so no one can ever tell. Now Pine Grove to Industrial will stop right here, and then we're just gonna do the exact same thing on this side, but this time it'll be from Greens to Heather Way. And then for our second last transfer, we have a small challenge. That small challenge being, I really want to place the bus stop down here instead of down here, and that would be to prevent any unnecessary crossings. Although these two homes might not like it. So to make this convenient for myself, we're going to say that their property was bought out by a few commercial businesses. And now we can happily add our bus stop right here. And to fix this weird jank that we got going on, we're going to add in the alleyway right there, and then we're going to grab the 2-lane with trees, upgrade this section, delete the alleyway, and we are good to go. If you're wondering why that works, it's because this was just a normal 2-lane road, and it was upgraded to have trees and grass on it. But this road right here has 2 lanes with trees already. Basically, the game sees these as different roads, so it won't do that weird node merging. Anyways, one more stop left, and we'll place that right here. All right, last transfer left. And we're done. Now I'm just gonna quickly go in and place bus stops. I'm gonna try and aim for every 3 or 4 blocks. Alright, now we've got 2 issues that we need to solve. Let's start with the first one, and that's for the light blue line. Right now there isn't enough space for the bus to come into this bus stop and leave, and we're also right in front of someone's driveway. So similar to what we did over here, where we just added the cul-de-sac, we're going to rework this area just slightly. And then all we're missing is some type of store asset here. And I think a gas station is pretty much going to be the best fit. And then with a little bit of luck, we should be able to fit maybe 1 or 2 homes here. And unfortunately, it's going to be much tighter than I thought it would have been. So what we can do instead is turn this into a small little park. Now I want to move the bus stop back just a tiny bit. That way it's more aligned with the path. And now we're good to drag this in and provide service on the other side as well. The next one is the dark blue line. And there's a small challenge with this one. Because we don't provide the left turn here, we're not offering service on both sides of the road, and the route right now is taking a detour, and it's going all the way down this road, turning right here, and then turning left. I'd like to avoid that, and I really only see one way of doing that, so we're going to break the node right here, and then we'll upgrade this to be a 4-lane highway. Let's delete that extra node. Now I'll use a one-way, snap onto this right lane, and we're just going to branch off. And then we just need to make one connection into this road. It is a little bit crazy, I know. But at the very least, it should give people enough time to hop on, wrap around, get into this outer lane, decide which lane they need to be in, and then do the rest of the movements. And the beauty of it is that our bus automatically decided to take this route anyways. And with that, the main city's transit has been significantly overhauled and improved, at least in my opinion. Now let's move on to this area right here. And like last time, we're going to do all of our planning in Photoshop because it's way easier. Alright, now this time I decided to use the map with all of the transit routes because we do have trams and trains, and I'd like to keep them into our considerations so it's much easier if we can already see it. First, I want to add in our new route from Lithia Point to Lithia Sands, and that was just a dark blue. And I believe I called this Route 8, so I'm going to try and make sure that I keep that continuity. Now in all of these areas, we do have a few key things that we need to keep in mind. We have our train station right here. We have the airport down here. We have Cherrytown, and it seems to have some broken bus route. Riverstone isn't being served at all, but that's mostly low density. The only service that Brookbanks, Oak Ridge, Lithia Heights, and Linwood Acres has is this weird circulator route, and its job right now is to bring people from these 4 districts to the train station, and vice versa. We do have our bus station right here, and the first route that I want to take into consideration would be bringing people from the bus station to the shopping center, and that's because we could use the shopping center as a way to transfer. Let's call this route number 1. Now let's grab a purple color, because the next obvious route is bringing people from the train station all the way down this road, and then directly into the shopping center. And this is also a transfer opportunity. Now you could hop on the bus from the shopping center, go to the bus station in Lithia Sands, and from there on out, it would take you pretty much everywhere else. Let's call this route number 2. And honestly, I don't even know why I'm numbering or naming them. I didn't seem to follow it last time. Next, let's get more of an orangey color. And what I want to do is bring people from the shopping center to Cherrytown. We don't have a bus station in Cherrytown. In fact, we're just dumping pretty much all of our transit passengers right here. Ideally, I think we should set up some type of temporary transit station right here. Then this will follow along down this road and go directly into the shopping center. One of the challenges with this, though, is that if we're sending so many buses here, we need some sort of small bus station, so we might have to convert this center park into that bus station. And because we don't have a lot of room, that's where I'm going to stop making connections into our shopping center. Let's just call this route number 3. Now we need another route that brings people from Oak Ridge all the way down to King's Corner, and this is going to be great for transfer opportunities as well. So let's wrap around this road here. We'll follow along this main road. Then we just need a natural turnaround point, so let's do that right here. And this is also great because we have an elementary school right here. So let's call this route number 4. And now it's swapped to a slightly lighter orange color. And right now we're providing pretty much no service to Thaddeus Park and this side of Willow End. So what I'm thinking we can do is we can provide a transfer opportunity right here. Then we can follow alongside this main road. We'll make sure to make a stop right here because that's where our office park is. Now we're just going to continue to wrap this around, and we're just going to make our loop right here. Let's call this route number 5. And now what we're really missing is a connection from King's Corner, Thaddeus Park, the shopping center, into the Bayfront Civic Center. And right here we have this spot where our trams are doing this loop. So I think this is a great opportunity to introduce a loop for our buses as well. And then we're going to follow this all the way down. And right now we don't have a road. So contrary to what I said last episode, we will connect this road in as part of our transit project. And just looking at this, I feel like it doesn't entirely make sense. What I'd prefer to do is wrap this orange route around this road, or maybe even around this park right here. So let's just do a little bit of tweaking here. This will be the route that goes into the Bayfront Civic Center. And now let's wrap this route around this park. And there's another transfer opportunity. Let's call this Route 6. And honestly, I don't even know what this bus route is. It just looks like one big mess. It's doing a bunch of crazy different things. I'm pretty sure these are 3 or 4 different routes here. And I believe the last one goes down to Keysville, and it just makes a stop right here, loops around. This is a very rural town. Their access to transit will be very limited. Most of it is farms. We already have this tram route that runs all the way alongside the front. In fact, it actually loops all the way around. And there's 2 routes here. There's the reverse route and the normal route. So if we're going up, we have great access to transit. If we're going across, our access isn't too great. And what I'm thinking we should probably do is add in some access from Lithia Sands to Willow End. And we do have an opportunity to loop around right here. We'll follow along down this road, and then we're gonna have to connect the road into this one somehow. I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna happen, but we'll find out. And we're gonna make our loop right here. And then if I'm being honest, I think that's pretty much perfect. Brookbanks, Lithia Heights, Linwood Acres, and Oak Ridge, this is all they're getting. They're mostly suburban sprawl. We're not gonna enter into these communities to serve them with transit, and the area itself just really isn't that big. There's only one more place that we have left, and that's Cherrytown and Riverstone. And there's really only one route that I want to plan over here. Let's use this awful color to do it. And all we're going to have is 2 routes that go in the opposite direction of each other. We'll call this Route 9A and Route 9B. And that right there is going to be all of our transit planned. So let's hop back into the game. Now we're going to start with the biggest change that we're going to have to make, and that's at the shopping center. If we're piling 3 buses into this one roundabout, it's not going to work. But I still don't want to get rid of the roundabout, but I think there's an adjustment that we can make so all of this will work. So first, we're going to swap this to be a 1-lane, one-way road, and we're going to try and make the same movement. I'm just trying to get these equal on both sides, and it seems like that right there is pretty good. We'll get rid of all these trees here, and of course, I accidentally deleted the road. We're going to flip it so that the road goes this way, and this definitely isn't going to be enough lanes. We need at least 2. And this pretty much does nothing, but I'm going to add in the bus lane anyways. We have 3 routes coming into this section, which means we're going to need 3 stops. And now before I leave this area, I want to fill this section with some concrete. Where we're going, we don't need grass. And let's also do something similar over here. We just want to give people a way to walk across. And then we just have to add in our invisible pedestrian paths. And there we go. Our shopping center is pretty much prepped. The next adjustment we need to make is in Cherrytown, and we just need some type of small bus station within this vicinity. And the reason why we need a spot for a bus station is because right now, this is where we're dumping off all of our pedestrians. We're gonna say goodbye to this business right here because they have not enough customers. Now I wanna use this one-way public transport lane, but I don't wanna use it how it is right now. So let's open it up in Road Builder, and we're actually gonna increase the width, and apparently we can't. So maybe what I'll do instead is just have this be 2 lanes for now. And really the only reason why I want to do this is because I find the one-way makes really janky connections. And if it has just a bit of space, it'll probably come out looking a bit more natural. First, let's check out our contour lines, and yeah, we got somewhat of a big hill. We're going to flatten all of this out, and now we're going to send 2 lanes up, then we'll go over, and then we'll connect right back in. Although that looks a little bit odd, and I'm not sure why. I'm just gonna ignore it. Now let's grab our one-way, and we're gonna have 2 routes running from this small little custom station. So we only need 2 bay areas. No, I'm getting too crazy about this. I need to just let it be. We'll figure all that stuff out in detailing. For now, this is going to do the trick. Alright, now just like last time, I'm going to quickly build out all the routes, add in the point A and point B stops, we'll work on the transfer opportunities, and then we'll add in all of the stops for the places in between. And it's funny because I vividly remember saying, we're not going to blast through this hill. Well, I'm here to say now we are. And the reason why we're going to do this is because it's a part of an important transit project. So I genuinely do not mind. I don't want this giant hill here though. So let's shave a little bit off the top. Then let's dump that right over here. There, that's probably more than I took, but it should be roughly a fair trade. Now I'm just going to smooth out the sides. Otherwise I find it just looks a little bit janky. There we go. That's a bit better. What I find funny is that I fell into the same trap. This shouldn't be here. This route was supposed to wrap around the park. There we go. Now this route is doing the appropriate thing that it should have been doing all along. Now thankfully we already have the bus stop, so that makes things a little bit easier for this route. We're just going to continue this all the way down, and I believe the plan was to wrap around these two roads. And now we should be good just to send this back in. We'll call this line number 15, Bayfront to Thaddeus Park. I decided to clean up some of the route names, just to make them easier to identify. So now all of our airport lines start with airport, and then we have 2 Cherrytown circulators. Now there's just one more road connection that we need to make, and the goal is to get this road connected into this side. We're going to have to pull this connection from this road, and to make this easier, I'm just going to get rid of all these trees. They're kind of driving me crazy. Let's also flatten out this section right here, and we're going to increase the height on this side. And then on this side, I just want to flatten it out a little bit more. This is going to make the tunnel connections so much easier. Let's drop our elevation step, and we'll go to negative 2.5 meters, and still no tunnel. Negative 3.75 does give us a tunnel, and I have a feeling I'm not going to like the way this looks. It's so bad. I have nothing good to say about this. And honestly, for now, that's what I'm going to do. Because I can feel the crazy wanting to kick in, and once I do that, I'll be spending 20 to 30 minutes just trying to get this right. And all I'm trying to do is plan some transit here. Let's get this connected in as close to a 90 as we can get. On this side, we just have to do a little bit of sloping. And that was the last road that we needed in order to set up our last route. So now I'm just going to quickly get this route set up. I'm going to go in and change all the vehicles to a minimum of 4. I'll also change all of the ticket prices. And then finally, we'll set up all of our transfer opportunities. Now, so my small brain doesn't get confused, I'm going to start from Cherrytown, and I'll work my way down. Cherrytown is going to be very straightforward. We don't have any transfers, but we do want to move the residents into the tourism area, the parks, and the shopping center. This road does not have enough capacity, and this would be a really important road, so I don't want to back up traffic. All that's going to do is make our bus service even worse. So we're going to upgrade this road to our small 4-lane 2.4 unit. And then it looks like there is some crazy jank going on. I don't even know what this is. Okay, that's not perfect, but that's definitely much better. For the line that travels from the Brookbanks train station all the way down to our shopping center, it looks like I made a small mistake. I actually want the route to travel down through Linwood Acres. Now the reason why I want it to travel through here is because we are going to make 2 stops. I want 2 more down here. That way we could move people to the high school or to the people who are getting off the train to come into Brookbanks. I still do want to be careful about doing this in the future though, because for routes like this, it's meant to be very direct, and that's it. Now for line number 11, Oak Ridge to Kings Corner, there really isn't too much going on within these areas. So we're going to have 3 main sections for our stops. We'll have one directly in front of the shopping center. And we should probably provide some type of walkway into the shopping center. But then we'll also have one right here for our transfer opportunity. The last one that we're going to have for line 11 will be right here. We're going to do something very similar for line number 12, Thaddeus to Oak Ridge. We have this transfer opportunity right here, so we'll add in 2 stops. And I'm going to use my duplicate road to fix this crazy nonsense. We'll also make 2 stops on this road. And even though line 12 crosses line 10, we're not going to make a transfer, and that's just because this line is way too short as it is. What we will do though is add 2 stops right in front of our mall. And then last but not least, we're going to add 2 more stops for the office park. Next up, let's do line number 14, Willow End to Sands. I want to add a small little playground right here, but we're going to flip it so that it faces this road instead. And I want to place the bus stop right here, but it looks kind of janky. I think a bus lane is just a little bit unnecessary for what this area is. So we're going to use the suburban 2-lane road with no markings. We'll upgrade only this section. And now when we place it in, there are no bus lanes, which is perfect. So let's just get that added right there. And then unfortunately, we do have to think about the people who would fight tooth and nail to not have a bus stop in front of their house. For this stop, it was public property. There's clearly a park on it. So these guys can suck it. But on this side, we don't have as much freedom. And honestly, there's a part of me that thinks this bus stop is kind of unnecessary. We're already making 2 stops right here and another stop down here. You know what? I'm going to leave just this one stop in, and that's where I'll call it for that side. Our last stop is right in front of the medical clinic, which to me is a big plus. There's only one left, and that's Bayfront to Thaddeus Park. There is not a single thing going on in this hill, so we don't need one there. We can definitely add one right here, and our trams are already operating on this road, and we could probably have one more right here. Although there really isn't a lot of space. In fact, we might have to upgrade this to a 4-lane. Until we get to our trams down here, we're going to have this be a 4-lane, and then we're going to take all of these buildings, and with our godlike powers, we are going to move them back just a tiny bit. And as long as they don't encroach into the back alleyway, we're pretty much perfect. Let's just make sure to drag this over, and we're also going to add in our last stop. And let's just double check that to make sure everything looks good. I personally think so. And then I made sure to keep the original Keysville and Apple Ridge line from the Lithia Sand station. We still have our main city station all the way to Ashland as well. There is one that I may have accidentally deleted, and that's from Cherrytown to the bus station over here. So let's quickly get this fixed. We're going to upgrade this 2-lane to a 1-lane. And wow, that looks awful. Now we'll just add in one more stop, and this stop is going to directly go to the train station that's over here. Although I guess the more appropriate name is the terminus station. And then it's just going to go all the way back. Cherrytown line number 2, station to terminus. Okay, wait. I remember, there's one more line. There's one more line, and this is the only transit that this area is going to get. And that's from this town all the way down to the Lithia Sand station. This will be line 18, Sand Station to Butchered Pronunciation. And 14 vehicles is insane. 7 is still insane. Also in this case, it's a much further distance, so this ticket price is going to be $4. We're really going to have 2 stops, 2 right there, and then 2 right here. And I mostly consider this to be somewhat of a senior's home. I don't really know why, but that's just what it screams to me. Now I've kept the game paused this entire time, and that's because I really want to see what these numbers are going to look like once we let things simulate for a bit. Right now we had 512 tourists riding the bus per month, and we also had 64,000 citizens riding per month. I'm not sure if we're going to get any higher than that, but if we can, that's going to be amazing. And I'm going to officially click play. Now while we're simulating, I'm going to quickly fix this area. I took the terrain just a little bit too seriously here, and it feels like it's missing the connectivity that it would probably have. And also, why aren't we expanding up this hill? I mean, maybe we don't want to go too close, but it's hard for me to imagine that we wouldn't push the boundaries of this just a little bit further and make in some more direct connections down here. Will it respect the topography? No. Does the game tend to exaggerate slopes? Yes. Does it still hurt to make a road at a negative 15.6% grade? Also yes. Are we going to do it anyways? Yes. Alright, now it hasn't been very long, but I still want to check in just to see how our buses are doing. And there we go, Cherrytown Station to Terminus needs more vehicles. So let's throw on 2 more. Station to University is at 93%. I think my happy place would be somewhere around 80%. And wait a minute, we're out of bus vehicles? No way we're out of vehicles. Yeah, we're definitely out of vehicles. I don't even know where our bus depots are, to be honest. Okay, we have one right here. I wouldn't say this is the greatest positioning for this, mostly just because there'd be so much deadheading. As of right now, I'm not going to move it, we will just add on the upgrade, but I probably should have moved it closer. And I'm going to go 4 garages for now, mostly just because we don't even know where we're going to end up. We still have to increase some of the buses that we have on these routes. Now back over here, I've just expanded our grid a little bit. I've also fixed up some of the more interesting looking shapes that we had here. While we let everything simulate, I'm just going to quickly plop in some more residential, and then I'll add in the trees, and we'll leave this area alone. And that right there is a massive improvement, even if we had to disrespect the topography in order to do so. I'd love to know what you think though. Now I have been waiting to see this the entire time. What is our transit at? And we are at 70,726 citizens per month. That is amazing. I love to see that all the improvements have an effect. And for the most part, our lines seem to be fairly balanced. I'll probably fix a bunch of this off camera. And with that, I can officially say that perfect transit is easy. Usually I'd say let's jump into a quick before and after, but we don't really have anything. So instead, let's just wrap it up. Really hope you enjoyed. Today's shoutouts go to Jake Hill, Gary Key, Deku, Middleveen, Michael Mills, Evan Aird, and to everyone else supporting the channel. If you want sneak peeks, save file access, or exclusive roles on Discord, you can join us over on Patreon or YouTube. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one.